Hi everybody, welcome back again. It's the next day. It rained, it snowed, it hailed last night. The field is a mess. So we're doing something else. Let me show you. So right here is where our greenhouse was last year. Now, as you can see, weeds grew up everywhere. Now, here is the cardboard that we put down to keep that from happening, and it obviously did not work, as you can see. Anyway, so in my frustration, I'm going to do something different this year. I'm going to grade this out a little bit, and that's a piece of our greenhouse right there. See that? Anyway, I'm going to grade it out a little bit, try and flatten it out some, and then I have some old weed blocker right here that I pulled over here that I had in the shed. We put it under our pool a few years ago. Had a little above ground pool. The mice got to it a little bit, but for the most part it's intact. So we're going to put that down under the greenhouse in order to keep the weeds from growing through, because I hate weeds. Anyway, so we're out here working in the garden today, and you can see that I moved the hoop over here out of the way. Got a little help with that. Anyway, let me do a little bit of grading, and we'll see if we can't get this thing done. Hang on, I'm gonna pause you. Okay, so that should be flattened out good enough for what we're doing. Anyway, now we're going to put down the weed blocker and put the greenhouse back on top of it. Okay, so here you go. Got the weed blocker down, got the hoop house on top of it. I'm gonna go get some bark and fill in the inside before we put the canvas on. Okay, now we gotta spread out the wood chips and we'll put the canvas on. I don't know where my rake went. Alright, so there you go. Canopy is up, or the canvas. Now, let me show you this. Well, this thing has been used and abused. See, there's a hole there, the hole there. Long and the short of it is that probably next year we'll have to buy another cover for it. But for this year, we're just going to use greenhouse fume repair tape. And we're going to try and patch some of these holes. We actually have a rip right down here, right there. Anyway, so we got to make some repairs. And I can tell you that it's already hot in there. So hopefully most of my work is going to be outside for the moment. But the other thing I should mention is that the wind is our biggest enemy up here for this thing. So, oh, thank you, Marshall. Anyway, we're putting cinder blocks around the outside this year to hold it down. And then we will also be putting some bark or wood chips around the outside. But for the moment, it's holding it down. Yeah. Now, the other thing is that there are ropes that go over the top and hold it down that way. I've got to install those still, but that's what was causing these holes here, is the rope rubbing on it. Well, I think I want to find like a cotton rope or a softer rope than what I had, and use that to try and mitigate it. Now, it did come with its own set of ropes, but the thing, I'm gonna say, they weren't built for this environment. So anyway, the wind is picking up, so let me pause you for a second and get a few things done, and I'll show you what I do. Okay, everybody, so kind of have a storm coming in, so I needed to get this thing, yeah, so it won't blow away. What I did, let me show you, is I drove rebar stakes in the corners and in the center. Another one over here. Now those guys are in the ground anywhere from 12 to 16 inches. I don't think this thing's gonna blow away, but like I said, up here, the wind is our biggest enemy as far as this goes. The other thing I did was I put our temperature gauge in here. Now this guy actually sends a signal back to the house so we know how warm it is in here. When it gets hot enough, we can come out and open up windows and whatnot. Anyway, but I've still got a lot to get done on the outside. As you can see, right here, I still got to put bark all along here, or wood chips, and I got to go all the way around. So some people would cut this off. I'm not going to, because I'm trying to keep the weeds out of there. That was my biggest complaint about this thing. We tried to grow things in the ground inside of it, and the weeds just overtook it, and I just couldn't keep up with it last year. So that's why we're trying some new things this year to make the garden more feasible and less of a headache. Anyway, all right, so I will get some wood chips and we will continue on. Okay, everybody, so the greenhouse is up. As you can see behind me, we had to do some taping and some things, but we got the bark all down in here. It is, this temperature sensor says it's 69 degrees in here and it's 50 outside. So I'd say it's working. Anyway, there's my beautiful wife who's trying to hide. Anyway, so let me show you outside. Okay, so I put down bark all around the outside. Wood chips, bark, whatever you want to call it. Goes all the way around the outside. We've got the bricks down. There you go. Anyway, hopefully this will work. We have determined that we're going to have to replace our canvas next year. It's falling apart, but we think it'll work for this year. So now my wonderful wife can put all of her starts in here, and don't
forget the shade canopy.
Oh, and she ordered a shade canopy for it.
Yeah.
So we're going to get that on too. Then also I have ran the water line in right here, and we're going to run it up and across these poles all the way down, and then go across and down the other side and put spray nozzles on it so that it'll water automatically. Anyway, so this project, other than I got to do the water, is pretty well wrapped up. Okay, everybody, so it's a few days later, but we didn't even get anything. What?
You're squishing me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Anyway, we didn't even get anything planted in the high tunnel. We had a windstorm come through, the door ripped, and it basically just shredded the thing. So we're thinking we're gonna do, well, how did I say to my kids? I said I'm not doing any more temporary structures. I'm going to do permanent structures. So we're gonna take this thing out and put in an actual greenhouse. We're gonna build the sucker and concrete it in the ground, because I'm tired of doing things multiple times. And Zoe here, she tried to save the greenhouse with her sister and her mom, and it didn't work out well. And what have you got all over your face? Were you eating something?
I was eating my toast.
Oh, okay. Anyway, but on that happy note, we've decided not to do a greenhouse this year, and we'll just go get some starts from the local folks and do it that way. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
so as always, support your local farmers and have a wonderful day. And we'll talk at you later. Can you say bye?
Bye.